Good day, family. Bringing you another video about how we can change the year of 2022. The reason why I'm doing this because I made a video this past week and I have never received so many comments, calls, words of encouragement. Some were negative about what I said about how we can change our year. If you change your thinking, you can change your year. And because I got so many comments about it, people were saying we needed that and need more of videos like that. I decided to do a part 2, and I'm thinking about doing a part 3. I'm talking about a change of thinking can change my year. How can I change 2022? Unless I change my thinking, my cerebral, I will continue to do the same thing in 2022 that I did in 2021, 2018, 2016, 2015. People are buying new hair, changing their hair, changing clothes, changing furniture, changing cars. But what you need to change is this right here. You need to change your thinking. And so let me begin by saying if we can change our thinking, we can change our year. People have yet to realize how powerful that computer is, that brain. Whether you know it or not, the brain has 17 structures. 17 structures are in the brain. The brain stem, the mind brain, the pons, the medulla oblongata, the corpus callosum, the motor cortex, the cerebrum, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the posterior pituitary gland, the cerebral cortex, the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe, the temporal lobe, the cerebral cortex, the bassa gallus, somatosensory cortex. These are the 17 parts of the 17 structures of the brain. The brain stem controls your breathing, your heartbeat, your circulation, and your digestion. Even when you're asleep, you don't have to tell your heart to beat, or have to tell your body to breathe, or tell your blood to circulate. Even while you're asleep, your digestion system is still working. And your digestion, the circulation of your blood, your breathing, the heartbeat, all are controlled by the brain stem. The corpus callosum is the mass between your left and right hemisphere. They are held together by the corpus callosum. The medulla oblongata is the seat of your brain, and the cerebellum controls the motor control, the motion control, the motor or the control of motion. When you take a step, it prevents you from tipping over. Your equilibrium is controlled by that cerebellum. The thalamus sorts out data, and the hypothalamus is the underside of the brain, and it regulates the temperature of your body. When the body gets too cold, it warms it up. And when it gets too hot, you start sweating to cool it off. The hypothalamus. The posterior pituitary gland regulates your hormones. And a woman have a larger pituitary gland than a man. And that's why women go through hormone changes. The cerebrum cortex controls the integration, the control data. And whether you know it or not, you have as many as 3 billion nerve endings in your cerebral cortex. Now, your head, your brain, have 4 different parts. The front part is the frontal lobe. The top part is the parietal lobe. The osseous lobe is the back, the base of the brain, and on each side is the temporal lobe. The frontal lobe controls logic and reasoning. You think with your frontal lobe. It is the executive branch. Whereas the parietal lobe deals with sensation. Now the occipitalis lobe deals with vision. Your eyes, the optic nerves, run under the brain and connect at the back to your occipitalis lobe. It controls sight and vision. Occipitalis lobe. Now the temporal lobe, they're on the side of your brain. They deal with language, hearing, memory. The memory is stored in your temporal lobe. Now your cerebral cortex covers 80% of the brain mass. And the bassa galeus is the nerve base of your eyes, speech, and fingertips. When there's a breakdown with your galeus, people suffer with what they call Parkinson's disease. Now the sotosensory cortex is internerves that deals with itching. So the next time you start itching, it is because of your somatosensory cortex. And when you have a migraine headache, when you have headaches, the number one cause is your somatosensory cortex. 17 different structures of the brain. All of these can be seen in a machine called the MRI. Science is something else. But ladies and gentlemen, do you not know that there are some things, some parts of the brain that cannot be seen with a MRI? You have conscience, but then you also have subconscious. And we do what we do not because of our conscience, but we react the way we act, sometimes unbeknowingly, sometimes it's a regular routine because of our subconscious. And that subconscious cannot be seen on an MRI. You may be able to see the thalamus and the cortex. You may be able to see the cerebra and the frontal lobe and all of that with the MRI. But I want to go deeper. I want to get you to change your paradigm. And the paradigm, that is the seat of your existence. Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. Let this mind be in you that is also in me. And the Bible tells us very clearly, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can transform your life if you can transform your subconscious. If we as a people, African American people, black people, people of ebony hue, if we would just change our thinking, you would be surprised how 2022 can be different from 2020, 2018, and 2012. Unless you change your thinking, this year would be as it was last year. I want to give a subtopic to my lesson today. Get up, get out, and get something. Now I want you to repeat that to me. Get up, get out, and get something. If you got a son laying around not doing nothing, if you got a daughter laying around waiting on somebody to do something for her, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they always got their hand out and want you to do for them, you need to tell them these words. Get up, get out, and get something. You can stay down, stay in, and have nothing. Or you can get up, get out, and get something. What runs this world is capitalism. And people think that capitalism is a bad word. It's the circulation of your money. Capitalism. Look at the way we spell the word capitalism. C-A-P-I-T-A-L-I-S-M. The root word is taken from Latin, and the Latin word for capitalism is C-A-P-U-T, caput. And whether you know it or not, that word kaput is head. That's what it means, head. So if you're going to get capitalism, if you're going to have some money, if you're going to control your money, if you're going to make some money, if you're going to make some capitalism, you got to use your head. You ain't got to believe me. The reason why I know that capitalism, or kaput, is connected to head, look at what I have on my head. I have a cap. And the reason why you have a cap on your head, kaput. Kaput is head, and on top of the head, you put the cap. And so if you want to capitalize on your business, capitalize in your neighborhood, your community, if you want your church to go to another level, if you want to be a better you in 2022, then you got to think with your head. You got to capitalize, kaput. You got to use your thinking cap. I just said something. Matter of fact, if this is a blessing to you, if this is helping to you, right up under here, there is a button that says comments. And I would appreciate it if you would leave me a comment to let me know and let other folk who read this know that this is making a difference in your life. In 2022, you got to use your head. Let me show you some statistics about our race, about the black culture. And this is why it is so important that we would change our thinking. Now, some people are going to say, the reason why I can't get ahead is because of racism. White people trying to hold me down and it seems like everybody is against me. That's the way you have been programmed to think. You can think your way out of your situation. You can think your way out of the ghetto, out of projects. You can think your way out of the red if you just start using your head. There is a man, and I want you to look him up, pull him up, named A.G. Gaston, Arthur G. Gaston. Do you not know that Arthur G. Gaston, back in 1940, 1950, 1960, was one of the richest black men in America. Whether you know it or not, this brother was so rich, ladies and gentlemen, when Dr. Martin Luther King was put in jail, it was A.G. Jackson put the money up to get he, along with Ralph Abernathy and other civil rights individuals, people who were involved with the Freedom Riders, whenever they would get in jail, whenever they would get locked up or had to go to court, it was A.G. Gaston who used his resources to get them out. Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, this brother was worth $130 million. This was a black man. This was a time when they were lynching black people. I mean, turning dogs on black people, the water hoses, segregation, black fountains, white fountains, when you couldn't live in any neighborhood during the days of Jim Crow. Do you not know A.G. Gaston prevailed? He thrived. $130 million because he refused to think like normal black people. There is another woman, a black woman, named Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire. I mean, back in the early 1900s, when other folk were slaves, other folk were washing clothes and ironing, living in subhuman conditions, here was a black woman, Madam C.J. Walker, who was a multi-millionaire. So my point is, do not use color and your skin and use society as an excuse for you not surviving and thriving. You can go to another level if you start using your brain, if you start thinking for yourself. I said the other day, only 2% think, 3% think that they think, and 95% would rather die than to think. Here is a test for you. Listen at me real good. Here is a test for you. I'm going to see how smart you are, see how much you think. Listen to what I'm about to say. Petey's mother have 3 sons. One is named Tick, one is named Tack. What is the name of the other one? Tick, Tack. I want you to text me right now. Call me, email me. Text me right now and give me the name of the other son. I'll give you the answer at the end of the video. I said again, Peter's mother have 3 sons. One is named Tick, one is named Tack. What is the name of the 3rd son? Text me and let me know the name of the 3rd son. This is why we need to change our thinking. One reason why we need to change our thinking is because of black culture. We are so busy, hung up on flossing, balling, flashing. We want to shine. We hung up on hype. We hung up on sagging. We want to be dripping. You want to be a diva. You want to be a boss. You want to be a big baller and a shot caller. You trying to be all of that. You trying to look like you got it together, but when you look at your bank account, when you look at your portfolio, if you have one, it is in the negative. Why would you have a $500 purse and not have $5 to put in the purse? I can take you right now, and I don't want to do it because you all might know who I'm talking about. Not too far from here, there is a house. You ought to see the house. I mean, and his junk all in the yard. I mean, house is leaning to the side. Look like it's about to fall in. But in the front of the house, they have a Jaguar, they have a Mercedes-Benz, they have a Cadillac, and they have a Hummer. Now, you got a Hummer, a Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, and a Jaguar, and yet your house, you rent the house, number one, and the house about to fall over, number 2. What sense do that make? You got a Hummer, a Mercedes parked out in front of an apartment complex. you need to have a house. Your priorities are in the wrong place. Our young ladies, they are more concerned about their hair, eyelashes, looking good, makeup. You more concerned about being all that. How sad it is, you more concerned about what's on the outside than what you have on the inside. Clothes don't make people. People ought to make clothes. It's not about what you are driving, but what's driving you. Young ladies, they would rather date somebody with game than date somebody that they call lame. The one that you have game, the one that you date that have game, he's sexy, he got swag, he's smooth. You talk about, ooh, look at how he look at his grill, look at how he's flossing, look at he's a baller. And yet this fella don't even know how to treat you. He don't respect you, your children, your mother. He don't even respect himself. And yet here's another fella you could date who has a degree, who has a good paying job, who's saving his money trying to have something. But when you look at him, he has no criminal record. But you don't want him. You look for the excuses with him. You talking about he lame. And yet this fella can give you a future. And yet you would rather spend time with somebody who's fresh out the penitentiary, who have no respect for you, who have no respect for your children. You got to change your thinking in 2022. African American people, stop looking for everybody else to do stuff for you. And stop blaming everybody else for your problems. You talking about they need to do something for us. They need to do something for us. It's his fault. It's her fault. It's society's fault. It's the government's fault. Sometimes the fault is looking back at you in the mirror. Stop depending on people to do something for you. You don't need somebody to give you a job. Get up and create a job. This is what your grandparents, your great-grandparents did back in the 60s and in the 50s in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Those people did something for themselves. They had their own banks and their own businesses. How sad it is. All of our money go to everybody else but us. You putting your money in the giving it to the Indians, you're giving it to the Vietnamese, you're giving it to the Latinos, you're giving it to the Chinese, you're giving it to the you understand what I'm saying? To the Hispanics. Your money going everywhere else. As much liquor as we like to drink, how many of us own a black liquor store? Ladies, you love to get your hair done, but when the last time you walked in a beauty supply place and that beauty supply place was owned by a black entrepreneur, a black business owner, a black man, a black woman? As much as you like to shop, when the last time you walked in a store and the store, the mall, the shopping center was owned by us? All the money we generate, it goes right through our hands into the hands of somebody else. And you want to know why we're in the shape that we're in. Get up, get out, and get something. This is the last thing. We're so busy stunning, being hot, swag, popping. We're so busy with our bling. We're so busy trying to look good and look like we got something. But when you check our credit account, your credit scores, what do you have? Do you want to make this year better than last year? Get up, get out, and get something. Jesus said to a man who was at the pool for 38 years, do you want to be better? Do you want to do something for yourself? For 38 years, he had been waiting on other people to bring him to the pool and lay him at the pool, do everything else for him. Jesus said to him before he healed him, do you want to get better? When the man said, first thing the man did was made an excuse. I have nobody to put me in the pool. Jesus said, I don't want to hear that. Do you want to better your condition? What do you want to do for yourself? Once the man made up his mind that he wanted to better his condition, Jesus said, get up, take up your bed, and start walking. This is what we got to do. Young lady, young man, stop making excuses. Stop blaming everybody else. You can't change what's behind you. Do you? I'm talking to you. You. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Stop waiting on your mama, on your daddy, on your brother, your cousin, your boyfriend, your girl. Stop waiting on everybody else. What do you want to do? This is 2022. What do you want to do for you? You got to have a vision. You got to have a dream. You got to write out your vision. You got to have a short-term goal. You got to have a long-term goal. You got to have a plan to get you out of the stupor, the rut that your life is in. Do you want to get better? I'm gone now. I love y'all. I hope you're not mad at me. Send me a comment if this has been a blessing to you. This is my moray for 2022. This is what I'm living by. This is my moray. I want to make a difference. Secondly, I want to be connected to people that want to make a difference. Thirdly, I want to make a difference. I want to be connected to people that want to make a difference. And I want to be around people that are doing things that are making a difference. And then fourthly, I want to make a difference. I want to be connected to people that are making a difference. I want to be connected to people that are doing things that are making a difference. And fourthly, at a time when it'll make a difference in the world. If you want to make a difference, surround yourself with people that are making a difference. If you want to make a change, surround yourself with other folks that want to make a change. You'll never change running around, hanging around, riding around, talking on Facebook to people who don't want to better themselves. It's up to you. If it is to be, it is up to me. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. It's a beautiful day. A beautiful day. Wear your mask, avoid people, and think about what I said. And I hope I see you this coming Sunday morning at church. Remember, if you change your thinking, you can change your year. Take care of yourself.